And the other conversation to be had coming out of the games involving the league and those certainly on the competition committee involves the dreaded hip drop tackle that we saw used by Logan Wilson, who was a one-man wrecking crew against the Ravens last night. And Mark Andrews is out for the season with an ankle injury. What is the status of this conversation? And do you think last night's game will fuel any more talk about getting this out of the game?
Anytime you have something this high profile, it's bound to drive the conversation a little bit because the competition committee is made up of coaches and there's front office people and there's different conversations, and they see the same things that we do. Last year the competition committee considered this, and part of the conversation there was the NFL Players Association publicly and privately was against banning that particular tackle, and that's based on a couple of things. One is enforceability, which is you can look at the tackle on Mark Andrews and say, okay, that's a blatant, dangerous type of tackle. This is what the league's been talking about with the far higher injury rate. Then you look at the same player, Logan Wilson, who tackles Lamar Jackson at the sideline, and that's kind of like a half hip drop tackle. Lamar's ankle ends up getting trapped under it. He's limping around in the game. We'll find out if that's a high ankle sprain or something he's going to be able to work his way through here. But, that play, okay, one is clear, black and white. The one on the sideline is much closer. Do you want to have officials then throwing flags for that? Do we want to introduce another thing that they're supposed to be looking for? So that's one of the reasons the PA was against it. The second reason was because the reason that you have more of these techniques in terms of wrapping up, for instance, around the waist and pulling a player down is because you can't go up higher. You can't do a lot of the traditional tackling techniques, even though they may not have been safe. But anything that involves lowering the shoulder, lowering the helmet, you run the risk of getting penalized for use of helmet or more likely being fined for it. So there's certainly, I think we all look at that play, Rich, and say, we don't want that in the game. I mean, you can see it's high ankle sprains and it's snapped ankles. And in Mark Andrews' case, it may well have been both. We don't want to have those types of injuries occur. But there is another side of this, and it's notable that the body, the union that is there to protect the players, was actually against outlawing this. They're going to have to find a way, if they are going to ban it, to create language that is clear for officials to actually be able to officiate this and not add one more thing, Rich, that we all sit back, watch on TV and go, well, that looked like that might have been, was this you want to eliminate all the ambiguity you can.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.